Welcome back to the Sports Live review and preview show. It's time for us to turn our attention now to some club football talk. Victor Godfrey very much in the company of Stone Avenue and, of course, the wise man, Femi Faraway. And for this next segment, it's going to get heated. And like you usually say, if you can't stand the heat, you should do what? Leave the kitchen now. Leave the kitchen. Furnace, really? All right, now it's time for us to talk about one man who has been under pressure since the start of the season. He is the current manager of Manchester United. I'm talking about the Dutch tactician, ERIK Ten Hag. The big question now is, should he stay or should he go? We're going to dissect this. I'm going to start off with the wise man, Femi. ERIK Ten Hag, your assessment so far this season. He will always tell you that he has 2 trophies, but he has...
It's a mental fact.
It's a fact, yeah, but he's also the manager who has the worst ever start to the Premier League season by any Manchester United manager in the history of the football club.
So if I ask you a question in return by saying, since Sir Alex Ferguson, has every other manager after Sir Alex had one record or the other? You say yes.
Record? I don't understand.
One record or the other. Everyone after Sir Alex has had one record. When Moyes was there, he was the first manager to lose at Old Trafford to a certain team. When Mourinho was there, he was the first person to lose at something. Everyone has a record. Now, I'm saying this because what I think the result could be better this season, right? In terms of the performance and all. Talking
about results, last 5 games, if we can talk about that, the last 5 games for United.
Look, I always say this, it doesn't matter. When at the start of the season,
games, Femi, results.
The last 5 games of Manchester United, the draw against Twente in the Europa League, the defeat to Tottenham Hotspur, defeat to Liverpool, as well. You can list all of those results, and the draw with Aston Villa. This is not the end of the season. A lot of things can change from now until the end of the season. And like we saw last year, no one thought, because if you look through what Ten Hag has done, right, despite all the challenges, the finals he's won, those trophies he's won. And he says he's the most successful manager currently in the Premier League, outside of Pep Guardiola, the second most successful. And when you look at those finals he won, I'm coming, Victor, those finals he won, he beat Newcastle United in the final, beat Manchester City in the final. You never gave him that opportunity to beat Manchester City because you've seen him lose to Manchester City. So my point here is, it's early days. We're still not in the first 10 games of the season. Because if I'm going to understand, if you're saying this, that means Southampton, Crystal Palace, they will all attack their managers. I've not seen anyone shouting that. And the meeting that United held in London, and everyone was going on about that meeting.
Your thoughts on this? Ten Hag's expected goals and his performances. Some will say he has underperformed as United's manager. The big question there, look at it right there, Stone, stay or sack?
To ask this question is an insult to football.
Hell.
It's a travesty. It's an atrocity. It's a sin against football. We should be apologizing to football if we're going to ask this question. This is not a question.
Please explain.
Ten Hag sacked. That's what I want to see.
Oh my God.
ERIK Ten Hag is a chemist of failure. That's what he is. He's a chemist of failure. He mixes portions that results in failure. Now, I don't want to hear anything about trophies that he has won. What I want to ask is, what is ERIK Ten Hag's plan on the football pitch? How do United attack?
So let's
How do United defend? How do they track back? How do they retain possession? There is nothing.
Complain about what he's done, and I ask, if you say he's bought Onana, he's bought the Elite, he's bought Casemiro, he's bought Anthony, he's bought players who you naturally can tell he wants to build up from the back and go forward, right? However, United don't do that. And I agree with you, because they prefer the counter-attacking style of play, right? Garnacho get the ball and run down the flanks. Is the manager trying to do something? You can see what he's trying to do. And to follow what I have said, he's won trophies with those things. But have they gotten into that? Because Ferguson was there for about 20 years?
26 years.
26 years. How do you throw 26-year-old culture, tradition, in a couple of years? Because every other manager before him, and I say this because you say, sir, bring who?
But it has been 10 years.
So bring who? You brought Moyes, developmental coach, right? Knows the Premier League, doesn't get the job done. You brought in Ryan Giggs, standing, didn't get the job done. You brought in, what's his name, Jose Mourinho, didn't get the job done. Brought in Louis Van Gaal, didn't get the job done. You brought in people who are the highest. Van Gaal won the Champions League. Mourinho won the Premier League.
In 95, Femi, but
Mourinho won the Premier League, wasn't it in 95?
But let me get this, let me throw this out there. You talk about which manager would you bring in, but we can also hide the fact that United have been conceding a record amount of goals. It's almost very comical how easy it is to play through them. Stone, I don't know if you have any thoughts on this.
We talk about Andrew Onana. This guy has 4 clean sheets this season.
Yes.
And he's facing like 15 shots per match.
You win the FA Cup.
There is a way they play.
The FA Cup. Arteta won the FA Cup.
One FA Cup. One FA Cup in 5 years. One man has 2 trophies in 2 years, and you are shouting, getting him out.
Femi, how does Manchester United play? What is the plan? How did they play?
I just explained. So the obvious you're not listening to me. I just explained. I gave you 2 explanations and you still didn't get it.
Please tell me, please.
You know what? The next game, we'll watch Man United's next game together.
We will watch it and we'll see rubbish.
Okay, well, hold on, guys. Talking about the next Manchester United game, luckily that's going to be live here on Sportsy TV as well. That's United against Brentford. So mark your calendars for that one. I would love to see Stone's reaction.
I'm backing Brentford in that match.
But let's talk about you've said this a lot about comparing managers. You know, Van Gaal couldn't get the job done. Mourinho, Solskjaer, the list is endless. But if we have the actual numbers, would that still change your point of view that perhaps maybe because of the limited amount of games that he has had compared to those managers, that maybe Ten Hag might not just be the right man for the job for United?
You know, I think that we can go on and on because you also mentioned, you forgot to add sporting directive. What's his name?
Ralph Rangnick.
Ralph Rangnick.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem to work. So the question is, maybe you are sacking the manager, and Man United is not Chelsea. That system works for Chelsea. It doesn't work for Man United. You need to stick and back a manager till the end. Remember, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer also had his period, right? Finished second, I think was third, then second. And then the next season, United sacked him. Mourinho won 2 titles the season before. The next year, United sacked him. Van Gaal just won the FA Cup.
Yeah,
and that day, found out he was found that same day. So my question is, what do you want to do? If you say change is your best solution, then don't complain if the results are bad.
Stone, your thoughts on this? This is Ten Hag compared to past managers post Sir Alex Ferguson.
You can obviously see that Manchester United made a mistake by sacking Mourinho. That's obvious there. But take a look at all of that, and you'll be deceived in a way. But the question still, as you look at those ratios and everything, still remains: how does Manchester United play under Ten Hag? We knew what they were doing under Rangnick. We knew what they were trying to do under Solskjaer.
You did?
We knew what they were trying to do under Mourinho. Yes, we knew what they were trying to do.
For sake of,
I'm saying that I will back a manager
for sake of
if
me,
the manager has a plan.
For sake of me, who doesn't understand, what were they doing under Solskjaer?
They were playing counter-attack through the wings.
What were they doing
Simple
under
as
Mourinho?
that.
I just told you that.
Jose Mourinho
I just
was
explained to you that.
contain
I told you that.
and score one and Bude be
It was also
everywhere.
the counter, and I explained to you that since Ferguson, United's system of play has been counter-attacking football. If you go back to the days they beat Arsenal, it was a system that used Ronaldo and Rooney.
So what is
and then go down.
So what is Ten Hag's system?
It's the same thing, unfortunately. I just mentioned to you that the tradition, pushing out one tradition, takes a long period.
And you removed Ronaldo and got the ghost? Where ghosts?
Okay, well, hold on, guys. This conversation can go on for hours. Obviously, we are a house divided. Femi feels that Ten Hag still needs time, while Stone is of the opinion that he should be relieved of his duties. Now, we'd love to know your thoughts.
From football.
We'd love to know your thoughts. That's actually a bit harsh, though. We'd love to know your thoughts as well on social media. This is a very, very contentious topic that has been on for a couple of weeks now. We do need to go on a break, and when we come back, we'll now get to the preview aspects of our show today. So please stick with us.